All right. Welcome back to another episode of Sound on Sports, episode 4. The full band is back together. No more vacations, no more driving through the mountains and flooding conditions. The three fellows are back in the main studios or main rooms. Boys, how are we doing? Brody, what's up?
If you asked me 20 minutes ago, I would have said fantastic, phenomenal. Some events are currently taking place, which we're not going to talk about here. Not going to speak about them, but they are potentially making my mood worse, and that's all I'll
I
say for that for now.
I can't believe that.
And
Uh,
Fatty.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
it was great Christmas. I can't believe before the new year we're already on episode 4.5. So that's been great. We've been really chugging out the episodes, and thankfully we've had a lot to talk about and a lot of good things. Some bad, but mostly good. So yeah, it's a great time to start a Seattle podcast. So yeah, let's get right into it.
I think we might just be the good luck charm for the city because all the
We
sports
might.
teams that are playing right now are all of a sudden humming, and Sounders fans are happy because teaser Paul Rothrock's back for a long time. So, and then the Seattle Mariners still exist, so that's cool.
yay.
You know,
And the Seattle Torrent that ESPN doesn't cover, but we will cover them.
true.
So shout out to Seattle
Everyone's
Torrent,
going.
And the
Everyone's
Seattle
going good.
SuperSonics potentially in 2 years.
right?
I'm just saying,
We're gonna have
potentially.
to change
We'll
up the
find out
color
this
scheme.
offseason.
Yeah, purely the Sonics coming back is now entirely on us. That's actually like confirmed.
We will make it
Someone's got
happen.
to do it. Someone's got to do it.
Fine. We'll do it.
There
We'll
is
Fine.
freaking
potential
do
of
it.
us being partial owners. I'm not going to say like what the odds are of that happening, but technically that is a possibility of us partially owning the Seattle Supersonics if they return. But one team that we
Win.
do know is here and is here for the long haul and hopefully here playing for a couple more months, the Seattle Seahawks.
Nice.
Hawks, first video since their win at Carolina. Fatty, I'll let you take the floor. What's your 29 and a half hour immediate reaction to the game?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was a really gutsy win for Seattle. It was kind of on brand for how they have started. Obviously, the first half was no bueno, 3-3, but they did rattle off some really good football thanks to the defense causing some turnovers there. Julian Love with the clutch interception, and then Demarcus Lawrence really having a great game overall, but then obviously getting the fumble right after the Sam Darnold interception in plus territory. I've never seen this before in a football game, but the Carolina Panthers literally kneeing it out with a minute and change to go, just shows how they did not want to be embarrassed. They're a good team, and we talked a little bit about this, pre-show yesterday. But yeah, I mean, the Panthers are a playoff team. They're going to beat Tampa Bay next week. And really, as we're going into ranking our possible playoff opponents here in a little bit, I think that there's not a single team in the NFC that I want to see or that I'd rather see. I mean, we're obviously going to rank them on preference, but there's a case to be made with every single team, including a team like the Panthers in the NFC to make the Super Bowl. So yeah, this had trap game written all over it, especially in the first half. But the team really came together. And man, if J.C. Horn doesn't grab that face mask, this game might be a little bit different, as it was 17-10 at that point. But great win by the Seahawks. We got a lot to look forward to on Saturday, and hopefully a little bit more sweetener as Monday Night Football wraps up. But overall, great win on the road. We improved to 7-1, and on the road, and 13-3 overall. On Saturday, we go for the most winningest season in Seahawk history. It's a little crazy to think about that.
Yeah, I mean, Seahawks won another game, but yet again, it was a pretty ugly start. And in typical Seahawks fashion, the past like month and a half at halftime, I did not think we were going to pull it out. And I thought that we were finally going to get fraud checked, but we didn't. So that's always cool. Brody, what were your thoughts post Panthers dub?
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts honestly can all just be summed up, and I'm still a bit nervous for the playoffs. I really am with this team. Um, it's nice to know that we can close out games. It's nice to know that we can come back, but not every time you fall behind or not even fall behind like the Panthers game, but like the Rams game, for example. Not every time you fall behind are you going to make this miraculous comeback. More oftentimes than not, when you fall behind, you're going to lose. And if the offense keeps stalling out against teams that can punish us for it, makes me really nervous for the playoffs. Nonetheless, we did close it out strong. The run game, consecutive back-to-back weeks, looking good. The defense, of course, humming as always. I mean, Bryce Young was looking really good leading up to this game. I mean, he was probably playing some of the best football of his career. Went up against that Seattle defense and looked completely miserable, to be honest with you. Other than that, I mean, it's another loss that, like, on paper you win by 17, looks like a blowout, but anyone who watched that game, games like that, like the Falcons, etc., you guys know it's clearly not, and there's clearly some things that need to be fixed here. But moving on from that game to Saturday, to be honest with you, I still feel quite confident against Saturday. I'm hoping we can, like Fatty said, get that 14-3 record, best record in Seahawks history. We already broke the offensive point total, I believe, in franchise history. So
That is correct.
Yeah, we look to roll into Saturday in San Francisco, hoping to make that series 1-1 and take the first seed. So
Yeah, I want to add one more thing before looking forward. I just want to say that clock management and time management has been kind of an Achilles heel for Seattle. And I just want to point out just the masterclass of a drive, this 14-play, 55-yard drive that did end in a field goal, but it was 8 minutes off the clock in the fourth quarter when we were up by a possession. To take it to a 2-possession game and have that just be it killed any momentum that Carolina might have had. You follow it up with a 4-play negative 2-yard drive by Carolina, and this game's practically over, with 4 minutes to go. So I just want to commend that drive. That takes a lot more than just the coaches and the players. It's a cohesive effort to execute something like that. Obviously, it was extended by that major penalty I was talking about earlier, but to have an 8-minute drive in the fourth quarter when you're up a possession is great football, in my opinion. The nerds are going to love that one. But yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, and then one more thing I actually want to add too is to give credit to the boys here. A lot of terrible officiating that game. I mean, there's several things. Obviously, we had that phantom DPI call on Witherspoon, which was kind of crazy. JSN did finally got a call, but before that, face mask and a horse collar on one play
at the same exact time. He was literally trying to decapitate the man. He was pulling his face out while grabbing his back, pulling it the opposite direction, and the referees all were blindfolded at the same time.
Yeah, and then unnecessary roughness knocks out Rashid Shaheed, makes that game even more difficult for us. And then several other bad calls that you can go back and point to. But nonetheless, the Seahawks pulled it through, ended up making the win pretty convincing. And, it's just nice to see a team that, doesn't have to make excuses, penalties, bad calls, wah. Like a certain team that I'm not going to name. But listen, it's nice to see that the Seahawks can battle some adversity and then comfortably take care of a playoff team on the road, and despite the horrible officiating from the referees. So that was nice to see.
And Carolina was rocking, by the way. I mean, I was listening on the radio and I was able to watch a couple different series, but they were absolutely rocking. I mean, like I said, they have something to play for. I do believe they're better than the Buccaneers, and they are going to host a playoff game. So I don't know if the Panthers are really there to take the next step this year, but shout out former Seahawk Dave Canales for really turning that team around in 2 years with not a lot of star power, proven star power on the offensive side. I think Bryce Young has kind of rebounded really well, and I think that young receiving core is going to be an issue coming up, but also with the run game as well. But J. Ross, before we shift into ranking our playoff opponents, what are your thoughts? Quick thoughts about our victory here.
I mean, I kind of already said it. I'm happy we pulled away the win, but I'm starting to get really worried about this team's starts to every game, because this is what I'll talk about later, little teaser later, but this is 4 games in a row where the first half has just been really concerning, especially from the offense, where it seems like we were kind of just running in mud for the first 2-ish quarters for the past 4 games. And that scares me, because if you guys watched the Niners game last night, there was no answer to that Niners offense. And so it scares me if the Hawks, walk through the mud for the first quarter and a half, we could find ourselves behind 17-0 pretty quickly. And in a playoff game against any of these teams in the NFC, could very easily be the same story. Luckily for us, we have a defense that I don't think that would let that happen. But that was my main takeaway. But I do like the fact that the Seahawks don't really get rattled, and I'm really interested to see how Sam Darnold plays next week with that because, this is now 4 games in a row where at halftime, the Sam Darnold seeing ghosts could be easily ringing back in the locker room, and he was able to kind of get through it in that second half. We're able to go, get the win, which is good to see. One thing I want to ask your guys' opinion on, why are we the Saturday game? Like, I see a lot of discourse online pissed off about us having to travel back from deep in the East Coast with now 1 day less rest to play in the 1 seed game against a team that was at home. We also have to hop on a plane and fly down to Cali.
Well, I think the people who are complaining about that in comparison, Kyle Shanahan's complaining about it. He said, I hate playing on a short week. We're playing on another short week. It's not fair. Versus Mike McDonald being like, let's go. He would be playing right now if they wanted to. So that just kind of shows the wherewithal of both teams playing. I think that the NFL picked us on Saturday because honestly, I think they had a shitty holiday slate. I know that the networks picked the games way in advance, but it was absolutely fucking horrific. But I think that they're trying to make a push for Saturday because, albeit, with college being, everyone losing interest in college, I think that the NFL is going to try to pitch to have some Saturday night football in their primetime slates. Would I have liked to see Sunday night? Yes. I didn't really necessarily want a primetime slot. I wanted to play at like 4:30. I didn't want any noise on this game. I understand it's one of the best games of the remaining regular season, but yeah, I mean, people are gonna want to watch the Steelers and Ravens. I guess I don't really think that's going to be much of a game. I think it's disgusting, but I honestly thought the Panthers and the Buccaneers had a better appeal to me. But I guess the Buccaneers have really just been playing out of their mind in the wrong direction, and it's really surprising to see them coming into this game 7-9.
Yeah, I mean, that Steelers-Ravens game, you have to admit, that does scream Sunday Night Football, though. Like, that game is just a stereotypical, like...
It's just not it's not this, dude.
I'm not saying it's enjoyable, but, like, those two teams just scream Sunday Night Football, something about that matchup. Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be us, but people were complaining about the short week. I still think the Panthers-Bucks would be the most fun. I feel like that one has the most opportunity to be, what am I watching compared to a 14-6 game that we're going to get. That's going to be gross. But
yeah, the NFC South has done a great job playing each other. So, it caps off to them. Hopefully that's a good game before ours. But as you were saying, Jay Ross, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, well, I think it's a good time. We're talking about the other teams. Let's sort of look at what we could see in the playoffs and kind of just talk about what you guys want and don't want to see. So I guess, Brody, of the teams, let's just decide right now. That's my age poor. Let's just say the Panthers are in. Baker chokes again. Baker burns down the kitchen. Panthers are in. Of those teams, Brody, who do you want to see who would you be most comfortable playing in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, if there's some way we could match up against the Panthers, of course. I mean, you'll take that. That's easy money all day. Easiest gimme game. To be quite honest with you, dude, the only team that really there's two teams that kind of worry me a bit. LA Rams, because even though they definitely have their flaws and they've looked very much human, very much beatable at times, that's still a team that we struggle with. I mean, even in the win, we struggled heavily that game. The first game, struggled heavily that game. Seems to be a bit of a Sam Darnold kryptonite, I suppose. So I would say that's the team I'm least wanting to play. And then also Philly. I know it looks rough for Philly. I know their offense isn't that great, but that defense is getting healthy. It's getting good at the right time. They've been there. They've done that. They're Super Bowl champions for a reason. That's going to be a tough game.
Seattle Kraken goal.
Sorry.
But we do own Philadelphia, so it is nice to have that have that history against them. The teams that I'm really not worried about, Panthers, Bucks, we'll kill both of them. Chicago Bears, I'm not really too worried about them, to be honest with you. Like, that defense is very much beatable, and I don't think Caleb's ready to play against that Seahawks defense, man. I really don't. Caleb's very, very talented, arguably the second or third best quarterback from his class, but being that inconsistent, playing against that defense, not a recipe for success. So I'm not really worried about the Bears. And then the 49ers, I know everyone's talking about Brock Purdy, what a game he had, right? 5 touchdowns, yippee-ki-yay, woo, yippee. They better come correct, because if that Niners team, that same Niners team, plays against the Seahawks, they're losing by 20. They are losing by 20. That defense, right? That defense, absolutely horrific. And I don't foresee any struggles against that defense. And then the offense, I know Brock Purdy had a good game. He also threw a fucking pick 6 immediately. You fall behind against us like that,
it's gonna be tough.
Go to sleep. Good night. Easy money. And then you got the Packers. To be honest with you, I know they lost Micah Parsons, but that still is a team. They're just well coached, pretty solid, well around. Like, they're going to be, not an easy game for sure. But I guess I would just sum it up by saying Rams, Eagles would not want to see those teams. And then Panthers, Bears, Niners, I would like to see, and then Packers somewhere in the middle.
Wow. I think I feel a little bit different, but Fatty, I guess you can go first. Do you have anything you disagree with or agree with there?
Yeah, I mean, I disagree just a little bit. I mean, I think that I'm not necessarily scared of Philly just based on how they've been playing as of late and our history. I think that they're another offense that kind of struggles to find their identity. I know that they've changed play callers a couple times this season. But I honestly think Philly would be pretty beatable. Still a great team, but they do rely a lot on the running game versus our run defense being the best in the NFL. I think that could be an Achilles heel for them. Like I said, I mean, I feel like all of these teams are on an even playing field when it gets to the playoffs, probably without, maybe the Panthers. But I would hold each team with the same weight. So it's hard for me to say who I'd rather face, because good teams aren't going to worry about who they're facing. And for me, it's more pivotal to get the number 1 seed to kind of have that bye week, get a little bit healthier. I honestly think some less mileage on Charles Cross. We're still going to need to get Rashid Shaheed out of the concussion protocol. I'd like to see Sundell get a little bit less mileage on him. Just the whole offensive line in general, but also our defense needs to heal a little bit. Just some rest. Rest would be great. I know Seattle will be rocking. That being said, teams that I would want to face would be Philly, and it would be Green Bay. I think without Micah Parsons, their defense is beatable. They are a very well-coached team, but I think with Jordan Love's concussion keeping him out, obviously they're just going to be resting him locked into that 7th seed, but they really are a little bit one-dimensional in the running game as well. I feel like Josh Jacobs burnt us a few years ago, but I think that we could get him this time around. I would be very scared to play the Bears. I think they're they're overlooked, underestimated. That's what I was looking for. But I think there's just so many different playmakers on that team to really give our secondary hell. I think Caleb's inability or inexperience against our defense, it would be a close game, but man, the Bears put up points, and Seattle does not in the first half of games. So I really see us falling in a hole and playing catch up. Their defense still has some players on there. Tremaine Edmonds with the pick 6 and things like that. Montez Sweat, I can feel giving us nightmares against, our tackles. So that being said, I know inevitably to get to the Super Bowl, we're probably going to have to play the Rams or the Niners again, if not maybe both somehow. And the thing about it is I'm a little bit more scared to play the Niners so close to each other. If you remember back in 2021, we won the NFC West and then had to play the Rams in the next week. And obviously that burnt us. But just having a divisional opponent and getting that much homework on you, that's just going to be really tough. It's going to be hard to beat a team like that. Again, I feel like we squeaked out the game against the Rams. And this Niner game, I anticipate being the exact same. It's going to be a close one. We're not going to belt the ass. As much as I want to, they've just been playing really good offensive football as of late. So I mean, avoiding divisional opponents, you're going to have to play one of them. If I had to, it'd be a flip of a coin who I'd rather pick. But I would like to see that first round be, I guess to face the Packers, they'd have to beat the Bears. So I guess I'd have to root for the Packers to beat the Bears. The Packers come to us and we beat the Packers, so on and so forth. But the number one seed for me is pivotal. If we don't, I'm going to have a lot of question marks, like Brody said. It's going to be a little bit more of a gauntlet in the hardest conference this year. But I think if we get the first, if we win on Saturday, I'm really thinking Super Bowl or bust. So that's kind of my take.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think that I'm a little more scared of just about everyone in the NFC than you guys. I don't know if you guys have seen the comparisons, but there is a legit chance that the Panthers make the Super Bowl. So have you guys seen all the comparisons between all the 2 years the Panthers have made the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I have seen that. And I could see it.
J-Lo breakup, both those years, Ohio State, they played the Jaguars in the first game.
I
all
don't
I'm saying
know.
that if you want to go to the
20
casino,
first round.
if you want to go to the casino, the Panthers might.
They held us to 3 points in the first half.
Dude, who are they going to play? They're going to play one of the NFC West teams, right?
Then let's have them beat them.
They're gonna face one of the NFC West teams. They will die.
They beat the Rams. Let's just have them beat the Niners, and then.
I don't see the Rams letting that happen twice. I don't see the Niners losing. Bryce Young, fair play. He's starting to look like more and more like a franchise QB. I'm just not betting on the Panthers, and they also, they don't have Cam Newton in his prime. They have Bryce Young, who's about half of his size, maybe.
But all this for the Buccaneers to win would be great.
They probably fucking will, dude.
Yeah, Baker will
and the
something.
Buccaneers will get smoked by the way, whoever they play. Panthers have a
come on. Baker will do us a service. We need to be rooting for them because guess what? If we're the 1 seed, they're gonna play either the Niners or the Rams. Let's just fucking come on. Like that. It could be like when we beat the Saints. When we beat the Saints in the wild card, it's like, come on, man, come on, guys, help us out. Because if that happens, I'm thinking Super Bowl. The Falcons better fucking pull this out.
All I ask is that if we end up playing somehow the Bears or the Panthers, please just have us show up in the first half because I do not want it to be close late in that game for some unknown reason and have this stupid graphic come up about Caleb Williams come back late, leading most NFL history, and Bryce Young, which somehow they both have the same stat, I swear, just different. But both of their comebacks late. I don't want to see that graphic on the screen in a close game.
On Saturday, it's going to be important that we are tied or leading at halftime. The Niners are 11-0 this year, win leading at halftime. That's the most wins without a loss in the NFL. So we're going to need to keep that close. But that's kind of my last note as we're moving, as we're shifting to a different sport and a different hot team. J. Ross.
I don't think it gets much hotter than the Seattle Kraken as we're filming this,
which is insane, by the way.
The last video was just me and basically me and then Brody cheering me on as I complained about how much the Kraken made me want to drive off the face of the earth and how sad and depressed I was as a Kraken fan. I've completely flipped. Basically, every statement that I said last week is no longer valid, and I don't even know a comparison for how much the Kraken flip back and forth. But I think it's been a Kraken thing, but. They're on a freaking heater, a 4-game win streak. Dom, we actually own the state of California. Like, California might be owned by Ellie Tolvanen. He might be the governor. There's a legit chance that's going to happen in the near future. And as we're filming this right now, we're playing the Canucks in the saddest rivalry, the fakest rivalry. It's not a real rivalry in the NHL. We're tied 1-1, sadly. But we're just going to knock on wood, say we won this game. Fatty, the Kraken are on a heater right now.
No, they absolutely are.
What are you seeing out there? I'll let you lead us off, and I'll kind of finish it off on the tail end.
Yeah,
why are the Kraken good at hockey?
I think we characterized this team perfectly during our pilot. I mean, the Kraken are one of the most streaky teams in hockey. They're going to rattle off road trips like this. They're kind of road dogs too, if you think about it. But some really key wins against Anaheim and Los Angeles, but then just a dicking to Philadelphia. I mean, I'm shocked. I'm shocked it was 4-1. with Grubauer in goal. But I mean, I'm sneak this to Grubauer there. I'm sorry, but I think
Be
that
nice
the
to the German
Kraken.
gentleman. Come on.
I
Be
think
nice
the
to him for
Kraken
once.
are a streaky team. They're getting healthier, and this is where they're going to kind of even out. That 9-10 game losing streak is going to dig them in a deep hole. But this is where we start to climb. And like I mean, as I said, I anticipate us being kind of more toward 500 toward the deadline, and this is where in my opinion, will sell for a little bit more capital. And yeah, it's great to see the Kraken closing out the year with a good win streak. Hopefully, they hold on to this one against Vancouver. I think it's a little bit of a rivalry. I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of a
Technically.
territorial one.
Yeah, but
Technically,
this
I
is one
feel
of
like
those.
as the Kraken get more established in the NHL, this could be a playoff matchup in a few years. This could be whatever. I know the Canucks are trending down and we're just kind of there, but yeah, I mean, looking forward, playing the Canucks right again next week, and then we're playing Calgary again. So I mean, it's just the Kraken just got to keep going. They're getting healthier, and they got to utilize the players that they have before the trade deadline, because I think this is going to be a very new look Kraken when the trade deadline is coming.
The NHL is just stupid this year. Said it last video. Same as the NFL this year, where it's like we're talking about how bad the Canucks are. If the Canucks pulled off this game, they'll be 4 points back of a playoff spot. Like
But, I mean,
what?
they traded their captain.
That is insane. That I don't really want to talk about Vancouver that much, but the haul they got for that trade, I think that they did insane for a guy that everyone knew wanted to get out of Vancouver. But anyway, if the Kraken win today, we're in a playoff spot with a game in hand, against a lot of the teams around us in the standings, which is kind of like, where did that come from? Because we were bottom dwellers. But I don't think it will take that much in the West, because the West is questionable, if that, to get in the playoffs. And once you get in, you never know, which I think actually might hurt the Kraken a little bit, because I think I'm kind of worried that we are going to keep doing these streaks and we are going to be fighting for a playoff spot come trade deadline, and we won't want to be sellers because we'll be in the fight for that playoff spot.
It just
might hurt us
depends.
in the long
Yeah,
run.
it just depends on if and when we make the playoffs. They have to look at it and say, okay, how deep can we make this run? Because there's just so many teams. You can really have it in any sport. Okay, we make the play-in, we make the playoff, we make the wild card. How deep are we really going? Or can we utilize the assets and get more return? I fucking hate the Atlanta Falcons, by the way.
Dude,
They are the
that's all I've been
fucking
doing during this conversation.
stupid fucking franchise. They're the worst fucking football team ever. They
looking at.
They need to get flamed. If they blow it 28-3, they did it again on national fucking television.
24-3. 24-3.
I can't believe this shit.
Matthew Stafford, regardless of how this turns out, regardless if they win by field goal, Matthew Stafford loses the MVP because of this game, right? Surely.
Probably not. Yeah, Drake May won it off of last game.
To Drake May. Maybe.
Drake May. Dude, this is
all right.
Staring at what you guys have been talking puck. I gotta be honest.
Well, we're gonna keep one more thing on puck. I will say, if the Kraken make it to the playoffs, and if we get in the playoffs, we are gonna ride or die by Joey Decord, because the way this team is built, we need strong goaltending. And that's why we're on a heater right now, which we'll talk about later. But the Kraken, it's been their stereotype, and I'm gonna say it again because it's just how the Kraken are built. We have 4 2.5 second and a half lines is what I'm going to say. So
right,
we have 4 lines on a real cup contender. That is your second/third line.
Right.
Which that's okay. But that means that when we get to the playoffs, Joey Decord or Grubauer, but it's going to be Joey, is going to be our lifeline. And then,
yeah,
I mean, it's not going to have a deep back line. Like our tail end is studs. I mean, it's actually a deep, all 6 are legit NHL players. I do think Capo being up on the first line, I do like to see him. Capo Kakko is a guy where I think if he heats up, he'll be huge for the team. And then Eli Tolvanen, out of nowhere, has just turned into a legit. We knew he had it in him. He's obviously been one of our more legitimate goal threats over the last couple of seasons, but he has 8 points in his last 4 games.
Waiver wire pickup a couple of years ago, I will add.
Yeah, nice job, Predators. Great drop by you. How are you guys doing over there, by the way? Not a big
deal.
Anyway,
Okay,
they're below us.
Shift the soccer so I can hate watch this. Thanks.
Okay, Fatty, you can tune out. You can tune out. You know, zone out. We'll take Brody's attention back onto the podcast.
Yeah, we'll try.
We'll
try.
start.
All right.
We'll start with your favorite player. Probably, I would say your favorite Sounders player.
Of all time.
Talked about it a little bit last week, but it got made official, posted on the gram, officially from France. He said, "What's up? Poly Prime time, back till 2029. How happy are you, Brody? Because I know you love him."
Yeah, I'm very happy. Very, extremely happy. The happiest man of all time. Shout out Kyle Pitts, by the way. Listen, like I said, like we talked about it last episode, you know, it's official now. Poly Prime time is back. And for me, like I said, it all kind of just depends on the figure. It depends on what he's making here. And like I said previously, I think really it just came down to he tested the market. He didn't get what he wanted. Or if he did, it was probably if he got an offer more than what the Sounders offered, it was probably minuscule to the point where he's like, I just rather would stay home with a club that makes me the face of their franchise and fans that love me and guaranteed game time. I'm at like a 6 out of 10 about it. I mean, it's like I'm certainly not mad. And I'm not like saying, "Yay, Paulie Primetime is gonna fix the Sounders being, you know, 5th place in a first round exit." You know, it's like it's a role player being signed to be a role player. I hope.
Now,
Like
I
I said,
have a quick question. Sorry to interrupt you. Just quick question for me and the MLS casuals that are watching this podcast. So, in regards to Paul Rothrock's free agent market, he can only seek MLS teams, correct? Fact or fiction?
Technically no, but yes. Technically he could have left. Like we've seen plenty of players go.
So he could have left and played in a different country, different league. Okay.
Yeah, he could have. He was a full free agent, so all the other leagues had, you know.
Bro saw that Apple TV money and said, "Give me that shit, bro." All right, go ahead.
Technically, yes, he could have, but I mean,
negative.
Who wants me?
Tyler Miller found his way into playing in Europe. Dude, there are some names. He could have found a team, but I don't know if it would have been a fun team to play for. And I mean,
my bad.
You know.
Yeah, and I just want to add one more thing onto this. I'm bummed out for Georgie, by the way. I'm bummed out for George. Good old Georgie, because that dude is so talented, man. He's so talented. And
scored an AFCON.
Scored an AFCON. He's not gonna get minutes. I mean, he'll get the same. He'll just be what he was last year. It's not helping his development much. I mean, he's so talented that he is just getting better year by year, even with limited minutes, because he is so raw. There's a lot to develop in his game, like even just being in practice. But it's frustrating a bit because this is a player that, like, this is gonna sound harsh because it's everyone's favorite player. I would honestly rather like take the chance and give Georgie like a real run of games, like even an entire season, unless he's like really stinking it up. I would rather bet on Georgie's potential than kind of just, we know what we're going to get from Rothrock, you know? We're going to get 5 goals, 6 assists in a 34 game MLS season, you know? And it's fine. It's good. You know, it's role player stuff. But I think Georgie can be so much more than that. It's just unfortunate that we won't get to see that, and he'll probably end up leaving, to be honest with you. That's really the only main thing I'm upset about. Just from a team building, a culture building perspective, it's nice to have a guy like that. He means a lot to the club, a lot to the fans, but that's really my take. It's like cool, whatever, I guess.
Well, luckily for you, if you're not the biggest fan of Paul Rothrock, the next name I was going to bring up is probably your second favorite player, arguably who you would say is a little bit better, probably one of the better players in the MLS. Did you even know that Danny Musovski was considered North Macedonian? Because I didn't.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh,
I knew that. Yeah, did he get called up?
So supposedly it was literally right before when I was on Instagram 15 minutes before filming this. Apparently, the president of sport for North Macedonia said that he will be getting called in to their World Cup qualifying run.
That's so tough. Oh my gosh.
Danny Musovski is apparently getting called up for their game against Denmark in their European playoff Are we gonna see the Moose let loose at the World Cup?
That you know the memes, the whole this happened so and so before GTA 6. I think this is like
Danny Musovsky in
I
a
think
World
this is
Cup.
like the most improbable like thing out of anything you could list. So and so happened before GTA 6. This happened before GTA 6. Danny Musovsky playing a World Cup before GTA 6 is you can't beat it. You can't. You just can't beat that. By the way, Falcons looking like they could take a lead here, 27-24. I just want to throw that out there real quick. But back on the Moose, I'm happy for him, dude. I'm happy for him as a
Kraken
certified
goal.
Moose, as a certified Moose lover from the very beginning. Definitely didn't rank him. I definitely didn't rank him in the bottom of our Sounders tier list, and I definitely didn't say if there was a lower tier I would put him in it. That didn't happen.
No.
I'm happy for him. And seeing Danny Musovsky in a World Cup, I would actually rather pay to watch that if that was happening in Seattle than for the fucking games that we have in Seattle. I would rather pay hundreds of dollars.
Can we
to watch
please
Musovsky.
let's get Iran and Egypt? Okay.
Wait, can we talk about this? If that happened, let's just say hypothetically, Musovsky played in Seattle. Do you think when they announce his name,
Erupt.
do you
Or
think
boo.
there's like legitimately fans like, yeah, that's what I would be like if I was there.
All I'm saying is that if he steps on the field, I'm buying a Danny Musovsky North Macedonia jersey.
Macedonia jersey. Dude, that would be...
imagine like 15 years from now, you're going through a closet, you're like, dude, how drunk was I when I bought this?
Dude, Danny Musovsky could potentially have the same amount of World Cup appearances as Erling Haaland. Isn't that crazy? That's absolutely crazy, dude. Shout out the Moose. The worst soccer player to ever play in the World Cup, probably.
What's crazy is like North Macedonia making it is not crazy. So they play Denmark. That won't be favorites, but like it's doable, right? And then they'll either play Czechia or Republic of Ireland. So honestly, they better hope that Ireland wins because it'd be very Ireland to lose to North Macedonia. And then we could see the Moose let loose on the biggest stage in sports. That could be insane.
That would be
dude.
Cinema. That would be
Who do you think? Okay. What do you think the payout would be if you were to bet Danny Musovsky to have more World Cup goals than Erling Haaland?
Oh my days. Okay. I'm thinking if you bet $100, I'm thinking 10,000.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Does he even get as a known North Macedonia supporter like yourself?
Yeah.
Is he even going to be on the field?
Let me think about this for a second.
I don't know who their striker is, bro. I could not tell you.
If you hear typing on my thing, just my computer tripping out. But as I think about it more, just trying to think.
Gotta give me some good news here. We better get some good news here.
I know.
I reckon. Yeah, to be brutally honest. To be brutally, I think he actually might have a chance to play. I don't know if he'll be the starter. Can't imagine he, would.
It's just, I mean, I can't imagine if this is like his first call up ever. I can't imagine.
I don't think he'd start, but I don't know, dude. Do we think that Danny Musovsky can play over? Okay, so they have Rangers strikers. I forgot about him, and then they have the guy playing. Okay, yeah, he might be cooked, but this one guy that goes in, I'm gonna be completely honest. This is casual for me. Milan Ristovsky. Apologies for saying your name completely wrong.
Where is North Macedonia?
Europe, dude. No ball.
Yeah, I know, but where in Europe?
Zane Gonzalez. Zane Gonzalez.
Zane Gonzalez, you are going to North Macedonia, my friend. Where is
Matthew
this on
Stafford, you are not the MVP. You are cheeks, buddy. You are brutal to watch, my friend.
Okay, for those wondering where North Macedonia is, it is above Greece, to the right of Albania. It's right in there. It's good, and it's
very
a country.
European. 100%
It's very
European.
Did not know it was a thing. Good. That's great.
This is great knowledge.
By the way, real quick,
geography lesson from Soundhouse.
What did fantasy football watch here? He's down 1.9 points. and the Rams will have like 15 seconds. Does this ball go to Puka Nacua? Because
Absolutely.
that will determine whether or not Wood wins here.
That's funny.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Awesome.
Let's reel Fatty back in. Fatty, you're done watching football. Your time to
Are we?
shine.
Cool.
Let's get back on the diamond. Let's talk
Absolutely.
Mariners. How do you love the signing, and how do you love our possible signings?
Yeah, no, I think Rob Refsnyder was not on my radar. He honestly should have been. A great kind of sneaky signing from Seattle. He's played. They listed him as an outfielder and first baseman, but it also says second baseman on his baseball reference, but primarily an outfielder. He's always kind of been a thorn in our side when it comes to just getting those little cheeky bloop hits and things like that. But what I did not notice before looking into his splits and everything is his career against left-handed pitching. Now, I might sound like a broken record because this was the rationale to sign Mitch Garver, but Rob Refsnyder's OPS against lefties in his career is an 826, so that is very, very good. He slugs the hell out of lefties compared to 22 homers against lefties, 95 RBI. So when you're talking about a lineup that really did struggle against left-handed pitching, except I guess against Tariq Skubal, but against left-handed pitching, Rob Refsnyder is going to get in there and he's going to platoon as a DH, maybe platoon in the outfield as well. What I've heard around the league is the Red Sox are devastated to lose a guy like that. He was a veteran clubhouse guy for them, so I really don't have any bad things to say. We signed him in a great value, 1 year, $6.25 million. Doesn't really move the needle in our budget wise. So yeah, I'm really liking the move. I expect to see him throughout the year, and I hope that signing sticks and doesn't become your AJ Pollock, your Donovan Solano type signing. And I think he'll stick around. It was a great under the radar move for us.
Do you think this is a signal that when we make this inevitable trade for another infielder, do you think one of our right fielders is gone?
I think that it's going to be some tough decisions to be made on the bench in terms of how you view, Luke Raley, how you view a Leo Rivas. As far as a trade, and I know you're kind of referencing Brendan Donovan. Part of me doesn't think it's going to happen because I just don't know what the St. Louis Cardinals think they have in Brendan Donovan and the price point. I've heard that the Mariners are very happy to move on from Jurangelo Sinji. Now, that being said, he's a great player, and it would take a lot for Seattle to move on from him. It's a very interesting development, him pitching from both sides of the plate. But yeah, I mean, Brendan Donovan would be the final piece to the puzzle. He'd be affordable. He hits for contact, so he really fits everything the Mariners need. Unfortunately, the Cardinals do know that, and they are trying to get a king's ransom for him. That being said, I just don't think the Mariners are the type to cave on moves like this, and I think that they're going to put Cole Young out there at second base and have Ben Williamson over at third. I would much rather at this juncture see us spend maybe hopefully Gino takes a 1-year deal. I would much rather have that and just stick him in the DH rather than overpay for Brendan Donovan. I just don't think it's the brand of baseball that the Mariners like to play. That being said, all the cards are still out there. If Jurangelo is the centerpiece of a Brendan Donovan trade, I'm happy about it. I don't want to see another top prospect in there. But I see that the Mariners probably do 1 to 2 more kind of housekeeping moves, something that would be even more under the radar than a Rob Refsnyder. But I like the way this team is constructed. As of right now, I'm happy about the opening day lineup, the rotation, the bullpen, etc. And this was a move that we didn't expect, but it fills another, kind of like Jose Ferrer, it fills a great need that the Mariners needed. So absolute home run signing there.
I guess before we move on to kind of our closing segment, what's all the hype with Luke Stevenson all of a sudden? Because I woke up this weekend. I don't know if you saw this all over Twitter. Sorry, X. But all of a sudden, people are thinking that we have another catching prodigy in the farm system. And I don't know.
Well,
I first saw this and
yeah.
I was like, is this going to be Harry Ford all over again? But what were your thoughts?
Well, I honestly think Luke Stevenson is a very polished hitter, and I think that he was someone that the Mariners obviously were all over in the last draft, and that were a lot of teams were. Taking a catcher in the high rounds is kind of crucial. You're going to want some depth. Cal Raleigh is obviously our catcher for the future, but you never know what's going to happen. And to be able to supplement that, I mean, the Mariners just supplement everything in the draft, and it's perfect. They're homegrown. They're cheap. They don't got to trade for prospects. They don't got to trade their good players to get a good farm system. Luke Stevenson is going to be a prospect darling that teams are going to want to be all after. Now, that's not saying that Harry Ford is not a good player, and that's not to say, the needle didn't move after trading him, but it kind of looks like it. Having another young catcher to develop in our minor league system is obviously going to be something that the Mariners would like to have. I wish Luke nothing but the best. I feel like he'll probably start in Everett and make his way to Arkansas toward the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, big props to that. I mean, we can trade as many prospects as we want. We're still going to always be a top 5 farm team in baseball, no matter what the prospect rankings say. So very happy to see the youth development there.
Yeah, and then just real quick before we move on, I actually agree about the Geno 1-year deal because Sam Darnold's been looking a little rough lately. Whoa!
No, not that Geno.
One.
Not that
one
Geno.
thing I wanted to add, because we kind of talked about this, but like the Sounders version of last episode, I just love getting a good role guy, man. I just love a good role player, and that's exactly what he is for us, man. And it feels perfect because obviously I feel like there is, like you said, another big move to make, hopefully, but I feel like we're just getting like the lefty we freaking traded for. Like that's a big need. This guy's a big need.
We're getting vibes,
surrounding it, dude.
Surrounding guys that are cheap, and the Mariners aren't going to necessarily. Yeah, Brendan Donovan might be the guy that is the perfect fit for the Mariners, but that's not to say we don't roll out with this team for the first 80 games and then we go out in the trade deadline and there might be Brendan Donovan still there or more guys to spend our prospect capital on. So the Mariners are I mean I glaze management, but they're just a properly ran team from the top to the bottom. Prospects good, no bad contracts on the books. No dead money, no nothing. It's just awesome. And so now we just got to hope that the players can keep their production because this might be a juggernaut in baseball. I'm not even kidding. So, and also happy birthday, Julio. He turned 25 today as of when we're recording. We still have him for a very, very long time, age 34 seasons. So great stuff, Julio. Thank you for always bringing the good vibes to the top of the order and out in center field.
Doesn't he, J. Ross, real quick as a United fan, doesn't he feel like Marcus Rashford of baseball, kind of? Like he's 25, but he feels like he's like 20. Still.
Yeah, he'll never.
It feels like he's a wonder kid.
It's like a legit 25. Good Jesse Lingard, where he's gonna be 30. He's gonna be a 23-year-old, 34-year-old, like eternally, 100%.
He's always. I think when he's 30, he's still gonna, try to move like he's 20 out there. But yeah, great stuff. Happy birthday, Julio. Mariners, all good things. And you just got to go into the World Baseball Classic and just cross our fingers and say no injuries, please. None of our rotation is pitching. And the Rams just fucking lost. Let's go. 6 seed, motherfuckers.
Let's fucking go.
Dude. Oh, my God, yes.
Brody, I 100% agree. They need vibe guys. As a former Division III vibe guy, vibe guys are very important to all athletic teams, and I think that's why the Mariners are going to win the World Series. Lock that one in right now. I'm going to keep talking to stall while Fatty looks at the
So they would be playing picture. Yeah, they would be playing as of right now because the Bears win the tiebreak over Philadelphia based on head-to-head win percentage. So the Bears would be playing the Packers. I bet they probably fucking hate that. And the Eagles play the Rams as of right now. So that the 6-7, and it looks like 2 and 3 seeds are locked up for. So really it's Seattle either 1st seed or 5th seed. So if we were the 5th seed, we'd go back to Carolina. And I'm telling you guys, I don't want to fucking play that game again because they held us to 3 for one
I
half.
don't
I'm
want to
telling
see the
you.
Bryce Young graphic. I don't want to see that
I
graphic
don't
on the
want,
screen.
I don't want to go on the road and play another game we don't have to. I'm just saying. I'm not going to cope with it.
J-Lo breakup, Ohio State natty, Jaguars week 1. We cannot go back to Carolina.
I don't want to see it. Okay, let's wrap
Dude.
up our show. Let's wrap up our show with our segment. No longer naughty or nice. Hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. For now, the temporary name for it is On Fire and On Ice. So, J. Ross, start us off. Who's on fire and who's on ice?
Well, we talked about the Kraken. The Kraken goaltender, they're on fire. They're scorching hot right now. As we're filming this, Kraken on a 4-game win streak, as I already said. By the end of tonight, it will be a 5-game winning streak. And in those 4 games, Kraken have held the opponents to 2 or less goals every game, kind of bouncing back and forth. Last game, 1 goal against the Flyers, 2 goals against the Kings, 1 goal against the Ducks, 2 goals against the Sharks. Like I said, the Kraken are ride or die with Joey and with the German gentleman, Grubauer. With goaltending like this, the Kraken can afford to have the forward core that we have because we don't got to score that much to win that much and we're not giving up that much goals. Does that make sense? And because of that, Joey Decord, Philip Grubauer, you fellas, you guys are on fire for me. And I'm going to go back to the well. This is just going to be the statement that all fans hate to hear because I'm saying it all the time. On ice are the Seahawks in the first half. The Seahawks just are incapable of starting a game on time, specifically the offense. We've already talked about that Panthers game. Halftime is 3-3. Versus the Rams, we were down 13-7. We were down against the Colts. We were tied with the Falcons. All those games turn into thrillers / blowouts if you look at the score sheet afterwards. But anyone that watched the game in the first half, no way you were confident going into halftime that we were going to get that win. And so for that reason, we are on ice. And as we approach the playoffs, that scares me a lot because if we go play any of the teams we talked about, I am not Brody. I am not as confident as Brody. And that scares me that in a playoff, if we were to go on to play any team in the NFC, Eagles, Rams, Niners, our first half would put a nail in our coffin. So needless to say, Kraken goaltenders, you were on fire. I love you, Joey Decord. Shout out Joey Decord, by the way, as a United fan. Joey Decord is my ideal athlete. Seattle Kraken goalie. ASU for Fatty.
Forks up.
He's also a United fan and loves soccer. So, Joey Decord, I love you. You don't have to say it back. Brody, you are no longer allowed on the podcast. We will find a new third host. But I guess for your last episode, I'll let you say you're on fire and on ice.
All right, sweet. Well, it's going to be quite the send-off here, I guess. On fire for me, Seattle Seahawks run game.
Okay, so you get to go before me. Okay, no, I see how it is. Okay, no, go ahead. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Thank you for that Dwayne Wade-esque lob. So I can take the spotlight from Fatty here. Seattle Seahawks run game. Listen, back-to-back games with a 100-yard rusher. And I believe those are the only 2 games we've had a 100-yard rusher. Zach Charbonnet this week tore up the Panthers. Kenneth Walker tore up the Rams. And then both of those guys, by the way, had a miraculous 3rd and stupid long carry that got us a first down in a crucial situation.
Routine.
The run game's starting to, despite the offensive line struggles, despite Sam Darnold's, inconsistencies, the run game is starting to find its footing at the right time. Both guys look healthy, and I'm excited to see what they can do come the postseason. And for the ice segment, I can't take what you guys have written down except for what I just said from Fatty. But I can't do it twice. I can't bring up the Seahawks first half offensive struggles. And regardless, the Seahawks are 13-3, closing on hopefully 14-3. The Kraken are on a 4-game heater. They might even win tonight, make it a 5-game heater. The Mariners are making great offensive moves, just great team moves. Still moves left to be made, but they're looking good. The Sounders, Leagues Cup champions, brought back, a guy that everyone likes. I can't really hate them. I can't pick a Seattle team. So you know who I'm going to pick? I'm going to pick the LA Rams or the ice. For my eyes. The LA Rams. You guys suck. You guys suck. You guys are terrible, dude.
They're
You guys
gonna
blew
beat
a
us in the
giant lead.
playoffs.
You guys blew
Oh, this
a
is so getting
giant
clipped.
lead.
This
A
is so
giant
getting
lead to the
clipped.
Seahawks, man. You guys blew it. And not only did you blow it, you took zero accountability for your performance. Oh, the refs.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Guys, no. You guys blew a giant lead, took no accountability. Then you guys ship your ass to fucking Atlanta, and you guys lose. You guys
Thank God
fucking
for
get
Kirk
embarrassed.
Cousins,
I
man.
don't care if it was 27-24. You guys got embarrassed. Matthew Stafford, not the MVP. Never my MVP. Couldn't fool me, buddy. That belongs to Drake. Drake May, not Matthew Stafford. Just threw away the fucking game. Threw away any hope of the division. Yes, technically they didn't really have a chance. Niners Seahawks would have had a tie, but I don't care. Threw away any hopes of the division. Just gave themselves probably the toughest playoff matchup you could get in the first round outside of us. Just absolutely pathetic. And then all these talks from Rams fans, Stafford's the MVP. Nope. Draymond Green, nope. Puka Nakua's offensive player of the year. Nope. What do you have? 50 yards? Oh, cool. Yippee-ki-yay, dude. You guys were playing from behind against a horrible pass defense, and you managed 50 yards. Congratulations. Good stuff. LA Rams, ice. Forever ice.
All right, Fatty, your turn.
I don't know how I can really follow that other than that will be clipped in my head if we play them in the playoffs. I hope we don't. My fire and ice. Let me start with my ice. My ice is unfortunately former Mariner Eugenio Suarez. As I mentioned, I'd love to have him back on a one-year deal. I'm just not seeing a market that I would like to see from him. You know, the MLB free agency is slowing down. I'm not really seeing any movement in free agency right now other than the Blue Jays wanting to give Kyle Tucker $52 million a year on a 2-year deal. That'd be fucking insane. Please do not do that. You will ruin baseball. The reason Kraken, god damn it. The reason I say on ice is he's a great player. I just don't think a player of his caliber is getting the market he deserves. I think he's looking for a 2 to 3 year deal to kind of end his career off. That being said, I hope the Mariners can capitalize on the lack of leverage and get him back on an affordable deal. I'd love to see it. But yeah, we hope that he gets a good Polanco type contract. I'm rooting for you, buddy. But to cap off our episode, my fire is the Seattle Seahawks run defense. And I said that before Brody typed in run offense, but their run defense has been crazy. They have not led an 100-yard rusher in 25 games. That's almost 2 full seasons, folks. They have been absolutely killer. DeMarcus Lawrence, which we're getting t-shirts. Brody and I have been saying it all year. We're getting t-shirts that say we downplayed the DeMarcus Lawrence signing in 2025. Totally. He's played out of his mind as a 12-year veteran in the NFL. I think he's helped Byron Young's development as a why did I say Byron Young? Byron Murphy. I think his who is Byron Young?
Rams.
Who
is he after this game? I don't fucking know.
Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy's development. He should be a Pro Bowler. Leo Williams. Jones has been great stopping the run as well. I honestly think it helps us a lot because when you're matching up with teams like the Packers or the Eagles that are kind of more run heavy, you're going to be able to have that pedigree and really stop the run. It is truly remarkable. So shout out the Seahawks run defense. We have a huge game in Seattle franchise history potentially on Saturday. We win. We're the most winningest Seahawks team in franchise history, and we might be walking to another Super Bowl. But if we lose, it's not going to be panic mode. It's just going to be reshifting and how we're going to survive the NFC gauntlet. So we're going to have a lot to talk about and during our next episode.
Well, that was an interesting way to end the episode.
That was what a cinematic ending.
I mean, is it not? Though?
No, it's perfect. I would talk more shit about the Rams though if we could redo this, but we're not doing that. Good.
We're not doing that.
I am.
Don't do that.
Well, if you want to see more, trashing on the Rams, go ahead and follow us on X, where Brody will be firing away all of his hate posts about the Rams, probably for the rest of the night, probably for the rest of the week, probably until we play them in the playoffs. And Fatty sweats through 4 shirts, stressing about this getting clipped and reposted online.
I
The
hate what that
Seahawks
means.
lose. If the Seahawks lose out,
No,
and the Rams,
no, don't say it.
just
Don't
know
say
it was
no.
just know it was AI. Okay. And then if it doesn't happen, then it was real. Okay.
I thought you were gonna make like a bet, like I'm gonna shove a burrito up my ass or something. Like, please don't
No.
do that.
That guy
Sorry,
never
what's up?
lived up to his bet, by the way. That guy on
Yeah.
Twitter did not live up to that bet. I promise you, if we make a bet, it will not be that extreme. But
We're not
Brody will
making
live
no
up to it.
bets. Not making no bets, man.
Yet.
Nonetheless,
We're a betting channel. Wait, no, we're not. We're
No,
not
we
a
are
betting
not.
channel.
We
We're
are
not a betting
not.
channel. We're
don't
not,
gamble,
we're not.
kids. Betting is bad. Don't gamble.
We are
Betting
not.
is bad. Betting
Betting
is
is bad.
bad. Terrible. Don't do it.
With that being said,
One thing you should do
it's
is
bet.
like this video, like
Subscribe.
this podcast, subscribe.
Repost
Boys.
on TikTok. Let's get the TikTok reposts up.
You see it on the bottom of your screen. Follow us on X, on TikTok. The Instagram is soon to be up. Boys, we're on Spotify. Spotify
Yeah!
is live. If you want to listen to
Spotify.
us in the car,
Let's fucking go!
let's go,
Yeah!
boys. But anyway,
Yes! Heck yeah!
Yeah, we're on Spotify.
Heck friggin' gummit! Are you cruding me right now?
yeah, freaking yeah.
Yeah!
Boys, I hope you appreciate this ear pain of the last 10 minutes of this episode. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week talking about the Seahawks having the 1 seed and how we are going to win the Super Bowl and how the Kraken will by that point will be on an 8-game win streak and how the Sounders have signed Cristiano Ronaldo. Nonetheless, I hope everyone here does not have to experience the jinx I just put on the city of Seattle. We will see you guys next week.